On January 18, 2025, 37-year-old Lorena Garcia Martin, an experienced diver, entered the treacherous Cueva del Agua in southern Spain. Alongside her dive buddy and partner, she dove deeply into the cave, but as they navigated murky waters, disaster struck. In the depths of the cave, visibility turned to near zero, and they lost contact. With no way to reach her, Lorena's partner emerged from the darkness and alerted emergency services. Hours later, as rescuers rushed into the depths, the clock was ticking, but would they find her in time? Before we dive into this tragic story, don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales of exploration and danger. This is the story of the tragedy at Cueva del Agua cave system. Nestled in the rugged hills of southern Spain, near the coastal town of Cartagena, lies one of the most perilous and captivating cave systems in the country, the Cueva del Agua. This vast, underground world stretches an impressive 7 kilometers in length, making it one of the longest active hydrothermal cave networks in Spain. A place of jagged rock formations, submerged chambers, and narrow, claustrophobic passages, the cave draws in thrill seekers, divers, and adventurers from all corners of the globe. It's a place that promises both beauty and danger. Any misstep can lead to disastrous consequences. But the real danger lies in the fact that the cave is notorious for its complexity and extreme conditions. Locally, the Cueva del Agua has earned a darker moniker, the Route of Terror. It's a reputation built not only on its difficulty, but on its tragic history. Over the last 35 years, 5 divers have lost their lives in its depths, some due to equipment failures, others to human error, and a few to simple misfortune. Each death is a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of this cave system. But these deaths would not scare explorers like Lorena Garcia Martin, who was no stranger to the world of diving. A 37-year-old English language teacher from Spain, she was an avid diver with years of experience in both open water and more challenging cave environments. Her passion for diving had led her to take numerous courses, including specialized training with the Guías, Spain's elite underwater rescue team. Lorena was known among her friends and peers for being meticulous. To those who knew her, diving was not just a sport, it was a discipline, and Lorena took it seriously. She had dived in various locations before, always in pursuit of exploring the depths and mastering the art of cave diving. Her qualifications suggested that she was more than capable of handling the rigors of a place like the Cueva del Agua. But despite her extensive training and experience, no amount of preparation could have predicted the disaster that would unfold on that fateful night. On the evening of January 18th, Lorena embarked on a dive with a close friend and dive buddy in the Cueva del Agua. The two of them had planned this dive carefully, as they had done many times before, knowing the risks of such an unpredictable and dangerous cave system. The pair descended into the murky waters of the cave, where visibility was already compromised by thick silt and sediment that stirred easily. The narrow tunnels and jagged passageways quickly became disorienting, and the underwater world around them blurred into a fog. As they ventured deeper into the cave, Lorena and her dive buddy stayed close, communicating through hand signals and constantly being aware of each other's movements. But in the depths of the cave, conditions rapidly worsened. The visibility became nearly zero. Lorena's dive buddy, swimming slightly ahead, found himself separated from her, unable to see or hear her in the dense, murky water. Panic set in when he realized he could no longer track her movements. He called out, but there was no response. He searched frantically through the dark waters, but Lorena had vanished into the shadows. A wave of dread hit him as the realization sank in. He had lost contact with his diving partner in one of the most dangerous caves in Spain. The next moments were a blur of panic and urgency. He swam back to the cave's entrance as quickly as he could, emerging from the water around 11 p.m. Breathing heavily and covered in cold sweat, He immediately called emergency services. By 11:30 p.m., just 30 minutes after the first call for help, the rescue teams were assembling at the cave's entrance. The urgency in the air was palpable, but even as they rushed to the scene, the clock was ticking, and every passing minute increased the uncertainty of her survival. The question was no longer if she would be found, but how long it would take to reach her before it was too late. The Cueva del Agua was a vast and complex network of tunnels, and every minute that passed increased the difficulty of locating her in the dark, murky waters. Time was not on their side. The plan was to deploy divers immediately, despite the already challenging conditions. Rescuers were stepping into the same disorienting, unclear waters that had swallowed Lorena, knowing that their task was daunting but crucial. At 11:45 p.m., the first teams of gas divers descended into the cave, equipped with high-powered flashlights and specialized rescue gear. The narrow, winding passages of Cueva del Agua seemed to stretch on endlessly, a twisting maze where every turn could lead to another dead end. But the divers pressed on, methodically searching each section of the cave system. The hours dragged on, and with every passing minute, the search effort grew more desperate. Around 1 a.m., nearly 2 hours into the search, the rescue teams had still not located Lorena. At this point, divers had covered only a small portion of the cave system, and the water's chilling cold, combined with the increasing depth and complexity of the dive, only added to the tension. With every twist and turn of the winding tunnels, the possibility of finding her grew slimmer. But the divers, determined and trained for such perilous situations, refused to give up. Then, at 1:45 a.m., after 2 agonizing hours of searching, a diver from the GIAS team finally discovered Lorena's body in one of the deeper sections of the cave. The conditions were still harrowing. Visibility was so poor that it was difficult to distinguish anything until they were right on top of her. Tragically, Lorena was found unresponsive, her body wedged in a narrow passageway surrounded by the still, cold water that had claimed her. The diver's discovery was met with a mix of relief and heartbreak. She had been found, but tragically, it was too late. Lorena was brought to the surface, where paramedics immediately attempted to revive her, though they knew the odds were slim. Despite their best efforts, it was clear that Lorena had passed long before they reached her. The team's efforts, though heroic, had come too late. As the investigation into what really killed her is ongoing, the tragic death of Lorena Garcia Martin in the Cueva del Agua would become yet another haunting chapter in the cave's dark history. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this on Truly Tragic.